Okay, good morning everyone, and a very warm welcome to International Accounting Day, which actually falls on Sunday this week. However, we're going to do a whole week of webinars to support you this week and to celebrate. So we've got 5 webinars this week, and in addition to that, we also have 2 quiz sessions as well. So a very warm welcome to you all today. We're also doing our Smart Accounting badge, so if you do want to join us for Smart Accounting and earn your badge, then you do need to attend 4 of the 5 webinars plus the quiz. So please do be sure to attend one of our quiz sessions either on Thursday this week or on Tuesday next week. There is a link in the chat there for you. So if you do want to register for any of the additional sessions we've got this week, then please do use the link that's in the chat there for you. We're not going to go too far into the housekeeping because these are 30-minute sessions, so we do want to keep these as quick as possible to cover as much content as possible, but the idea is it just takes up 1 slot of your day rather than the full 45 minutes. But if you do have any questions, please do use the questions panel throughout the session, and we've got the team on in the background to answer your questions there. Okay, so what are we going to cover in today's webinar? So first of all, we're going to quickly talk about the importance of getting paid on time. And then we're going to show you a few different options for trying to get yourself paid on time. So getting paid quickly and where possible to also automate your transactions as well. So we're going to look at adding bank details to invoices. And then we're going to show you one of the features, invoice payments, and then we will touch on some of the other methods and then signpost you to lots of help that's available to you to find out more about those additional payment options. And then, as always, we'll talk about our upcoming webinars. Okay, so first of all, why is it important to get paid quickly? Okay, so it's important to get paid quickly because it's going to help you and your business with your cash flow management. It means you're going to have funds readily available for investing into the business. It gives you a bit more financial stability if you know that you've got those funds coming through to you. And it will help you with business growth, but also it's going to help you with your supplier relationships, because if you are getting paid quickly, it means that you can also pay your supplier quickly. So what solutions do we offer? So the first one is quite a basic one, and we're going to go through that one today, is invoice customization. So by providing your bank details to your customer on your invoice or your statement, you're making it easy for them to access the information they require to pay you. So quite a simple change can actually impact how quickly a customer or how likely a customer is to pay you. We've also got invoice payments, so this is something we're going to cover very briefly today. And this is where we can add on additional features onto your invoice, such as a pay now option, which allows your customers to pay at the click of a button. Now, this is very similar to Opeo by Elavon, which used to be called Sage Pay. So again, this allows you to add a pay now option. And then we've got Go Cardless and Sage Connect, which is something that's in an early adopter stage at present. Okay, so we're going to start off with our sort of most basic feature, and this isn't going to cost you anything to utilize in your software. This is adding bank details to your invoice. Now, we do actually now have, if you're using version 29 or above, we actually have layouts that are available to you with bank details already added. If you're using an older version or you're not using one of those layouts, then it can be added by using a text box on the layout. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. So let's just pop into my data set here. So I've got my data set that I've got open at the moment, and I'm in the invoices and credits feature. So to have a look at the layouts, what I need to do is highlight one of my invoices, as I have done there, and I need to go into the print option at the top. And what this will do is it will show me all of the standard layouts. And if you've had any layouts customized or provided for you, they'll also show in here. But at the moment, mine is just purely showing the standard layouts that come with the software. Now, the first thing I wanted to just show you is those layouts that were introduced in version 29 that already have those bank details added to the software. So if we have a look at this one first, we have this A4 invoice credit without discount with bank details. So that's the key element there. It's indicating there that it has the bank details on. So if I just quickly generate this first and just scroll down a bit on this layout here, quite a basic layout, but at the bottom there, I haven't had to do anything to that layout at all. It's pulled that automatically for me. Now I'm just going to show you next where it pulls that information from, because that's probably the next question on your mind is where does it actually pull that information from? And it's based on what is set up as your default bank account. So if I close out of here, I'm just going to go into settings and then into control accounts. And within here, it's the default bank. So it's looking at bank account 1200 and the details that have been set up on there. So if I click on OK, and I just pop into that bank account to show you, it's into here, and it's what's held within this account details section here. So that's quite a basic one that uses something that comes as standard to the software. And those layouts that I've just shown you there, so if we pop back into invoices, highlight that invoice there and go to print. These invoices can be customized with things like your logo and make them a bit more personal to your business and your business needs. So the other option we have is you might want to use one of the other layouts for some reason. It might be that you've already got a custom layout and you want to add your bank details on. And this is slightly different here. What we need to do is add a text box on. So what we're doing is giving you different options of trying to achieve the same outcome. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to show you how to add a text box on. So for this, I'm just going to use this plain paper one so it doesn't already have the bank details on. I'm going to open that up so you can see the before. And if you see there, we don't have anything on there in terms of any bank details just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit this. I'm going to edit in Report Designer. So I'm just going to go to Edit at the top. That just takes a second to load. Okay, and this is us in Report Designer. Now this might look a little bit complicated. It does tend to worry a few people when you come in and you have a look at this. It doesn't sort of automatically make sense, but don't worry, what we're going to do is quite a simple amendment. Now the first thing you do need to do is you need to go to Report and Report Properties and just change this name to something that's a bit more relevant to you. So I'm just going to call this Jackie Webinar. And that just means it's adding it to the list rather than overwriting the previous layout that was there. Now we're going to add a text box now. So what we do here is just use the option to add text here. And then we find the location that we want to pop these details on. Now, by default, they normally go down in this corner. So I'm just going to add to that for now. You could pop this wherever you wanted to. And we're just going to type into here some bank details. And pop those in. And you could add additional information into here if you want to, so you can pop whatever you want in that's relevant to you. And then what I'm going to do is I need to go into File and Save As. Now again, what we're just making sure we're going to do there is not overwrite the original layout. So we'll always have that original layout that if we need to, we're going to create a separate layout. So I'm just going to save this as it is. So once that's saved, I'm just going to close out of here, go back into my list of layouts. Just going to scroll down and find my new layout. There we go, at the bottom there. And if we actually generate that and scroll down to the bottom, you can see the bank details I've popped in because they're a slightly different font. But again, you can change things like the font, etc. as well if you've got a little bit more time on there. So those are two ways that you can get your bank details added on for quick payment. So I'm just going to close out of that now. Just want to remind you as well that once you've got a layout that you want to use, it might be that you want to use it on a regular basis, you do have the option to add them as a favorite. Okay, and that just means you don't have to scroll through the list each time. When you come into this layouts window, it will sit in your favorites and it just makes it easier to access again. Okay, so that basically is our first step there. And these can be added to statements as well. Okay, so if you do want to add your bank details onto a statement, so if you're doing a monthly statement for your customers as a bit of a reminder of what the outstanding balance is, the same process can be used for statements. So opening up the document, editing, and then adding a text box. So some simple report design on there. So I'm going to pop back to the slides now, because I just want to move on to our next topic, which is invoice payments. Now, today we're going to give you a little bit of a shortened demonstration of invoice payments. We are running a slightly longer session on this next week, which will show you how you can set invoice payments up, how it can be activated in the software. Invoice payments is a really fantastic feature. What this allows you to do is it allows you to take payments using a link that you would add onto your emailed invoice. So this can receive payments if you're using Stripe or if you're using PayPal. So if you're already using Stripe or PayPal, then all you need to do is connect your Sage up to your account that you're already using with them, and then you can allow your customers to make payments directly from this. So again, it's a step up from just providing the bank details. You're providing them a direct link to make the payment there and then. So again, that speeds up the process of making payments, and it makes them far more likely to pay immediately because they've got the option there and then in front of them. So once you've activated invoice payments, you will have layouts that have this pay now option automatically added. And I'll show you that in just a moment in a short video demonstration there. If you're using custom layouts, again, it's easy to add that pay now option on once you've got invoice payments set up and running. So I'm just going to pop into the software first, just so I can show you where you can start to find out more about invoice payments and also about pricing. So there actually isn't any cost from Sage for using invoice payments. All of the cost is to do with the processing from Stripe or PayPal. So there's no cost from Sage. However, I just want to show you now, if I pop back into my software, where you can find out a little bit more about that. So in here, in apps and add-ons, on the left-hand side, this is where it launches all of the apps and add-ons that you can activate in your software. And you'll see that there's quite a few different things in there that you've maybe not come across before. So we do have links in with Satago for invoice finance, customer account portal, which is quite a new feature, which is currently an early adopter, but further down, you can see Sage Invoice Payments. So when you click on Learn More here, this gives you a bit more information around Sage Invoice Payments. It shows you how that link is added onto the layout for you, and it also confirms that there's no cost from Sage, it's just the transaction charge by your payment provider. So if you are thinking, just want to explore this as an option, then there is more information on apps and add-ons there. Now to activate it, you can activate it from within here by clicking on Get Started, but you can also sometimes find the option within Connected Services for invoice payments. Now what happens when you've got this activated is, again, when you go to print your layout, well, essentially you would be emailing this, but I will show you from a print perspective, just so I can show you this first of all, is in the list of layouts, you have options here which have with Sage Invoice Payments or Opeo by Elavon. So just as an example here, this one here. So it is a layout that's designed for emailing, because obviously you want the active link to your customer, but this has already got that Pay Now button attached to it. Now, if I was to try and use this one now, I get this message. Okay, so in this particular data set, I haven't yet activated invoice payments. But once you have activated invoice payments, it generates the invoice just like we saw before, but it has that pay now option in the bottom corner for you. Now, the best way to demonstrate this is, in fact, to show you our video on this, and it just shows you how this works. Okay, so it's about 3 or 4 minutes long, and this is our demonstration of how invoice payments can work for you.
Invoice payments is a great feature for providing online payment links on invoices for your customers when using Stripe or PayPal. This makes the process quick and easy for your customers to pay on time. And when invoice payments is activated, you can email the invoice to your customers with an integrated Pay Now button. Invoices can be emailed directly from the Invoices window if you've set up the default layout to one including the integrated link. Or you can generate the preview and select the email invoice with invoice payments option. From here you can preview or send to your customer via email. When your customer receives the email invoice, they can use the Pay Now option at the bottom of the invoice to make an instant payment direct to your Stripe or PayPal account. These transactions can then be downloaded directly from your provider into your data and allocated to the invoice they relate to. In version 29, there have been improvements to invoice payments to allow partial payments of invoices and to account for any settlement discount applied. Now when a customer selects the Pay Now button, they have the option to pay the invoice in full or to make a partial payment. Once the part payment is made, the confirmation demonstrates the invoice value and the amount still due. If the customer was to click on the Pay Now option again, then only the remaining value would be displayed under the full amount. However, there is still the option to make a further part payment. Now let's take a look at what this looks like in Sage 50 accounts after syncing with invoice payments. As you can see, the sales receipt has been created for the part payment and a bank payment for the related fees involved. In addition, invoice payments can now account for settlement discount if you've entered this into the customer records within the Credit Control tab. When the Pay Now option is selected within the settlement discount period, the discount is automatically applied to the transaction. As you can see, after the transaction is downloaded from invoice payments, the sales receipt is posted and we have 2 sales credit notes, one for each item line of the invoice, and again we have the bank payment for the related fees. Finally, settlement discount is only applied when the invoice is paid in full. If you opt to part pay, no settlement discount is deducted. When you go back in to pay off the remainder of the invoice, again you can see the settlement discount is no longer showing.
Okay, so that was just a short demonstration of invoice payments. Like I say, we are doing an extended session next week, and we're going to show you how you can set that up as well if you're interested in a little bit more information around invoice payments. A few questions that we did get through there is, first of all, can we use a Pay Now button for Opeo or Elevon? Absolutely. That is an additional feature. The sign-up process for that is slightly different, but the principle is exactly the same. It will add a Pay Now button onto the invoice for you, and when you click on the Pay Now, rather than launching Stripe or PayPal, it will launch Pay by Elevon. So yes, absolutely, you can use that feature there. There's also a quick question there around, can you add the Pay Now button to an invoice that also has your bank details on? So absolutely, you can add the text box on with the bank details on to a layout with a Pay Now option as well, and then it gives the customer the choice there. And a quick one, we've had a few questions on this. Are there any plans to link Sage with bank accounts to speed up the payment of invoices? So rather than using Stripe and PayPal, just direct to my bank. This is a great question there. What I would say is this is a great candidate for popping onto our Sage Community Hub. Okay, so Sage Community Hub is where you can post your ideas for future improvements in the software, and also your peers can also vote on that as well. So I'd absolutely recommend getting yourself onto Sage Community Hub, popping your ideas on there, take a look at the ideas from others and get your votes through on there. So that was Sage Invoice Payments. I just want to very briefly touch on some other alternatives as well. Okay, so we've covered adding the details to your invoice layout, invoice payments, but we do have alternatives as well. Now, unfortunately, in half an hour, it's a lot to cover for you. So we're just going to give you a little bit of a flavour. We may look into doing webinars on these in the near future. But the first one we mentioned there is Opeo by Elavon. So this was previously Sage Pay, so it might be something you've set up in the past under the term Sage Pay. And as I mentioned earlier, it's very similar to invoice payments. Pay now options added to your layout, it just gets activated in a slightly different way. So you would need to go through settings, company preferences, and then activate Opeo by Elavon. The next one's Go Cardless. Okay, now Go Cardless is a great feature if you want to set up direct debits for your customers. And it allows you to collect payments from your customers. It might be a one-off payment, and it might be a regular payment. Okay, you can do full payments and also installments. Again, that links into Go Cardless, so it's a link with a third party that we use there. And again, the link on the screen there is just got a link to more information on Go Cardless. So if it's not something you were aware of that was available to you, then the links are in the handout there for you. Finally, we've got Sage Connect. Now, this is currently in an early adopter phase. So we're currently working with a small group of customers. We are looking to expand this. So if you are interested in this, again, there is a link to find out more. But what that allows you to do is upload invoices, and then you can invite your customers to view their invoices 24/7 access to that online. So a really great feature as well that's going to be probably something you're going to hear a lot from over the next few weeks. We'll probably be touching on that in our version 31 webinars, which are coming up towards the end of this month. Okay, so I just want to summarise, I'm trying to keep within the 30 minutes there, what we've covered today. So first of all, making payment options readily available to your customers is going to make it far easier for them to pay you quickly. And we've got several options available to you that are going to help you to get paid quickly. And some of those are simple, some of those are more complex ones which link in with some of our third-party ones. But what happens is we take the legwork out, we allow you to do those payments, but we also allow you to download transactions into your software. So not only are you getting paid quickly, you're also getting automatically posted transactions into your software. So it's taking away a little bit of the manual entry required too. So both invoice payments and Opeo by Elavon allow you to download those transactions after a customer has paid it straight into your software. Finally, we've got additional options. So if the Pay Now option doesn't work for you, you don't work on an invoicing basis, there may be alternatives in the form of Go Cardless or Sage Connect, which will work for you. Again, lots of information is on the apps and add-ons option within your software. So I'll just show you again where you can find that. So if we pop into our software there, just disappeared. Apps and add-ons has information on all of the services that we've covered today. So including Connect, Go Cardless, and also Opeo by Elavon. So if you do want to find out more information on any of those, please do check them out on here. Okay, back to the slides there. this is your opportunity for any questions that you may have. So we've got about 4 minutes left before we'll end the session. So if you can get your questions across to the team, we'll try and get as many answered as possible for you today. I'm just going to quickly talk to you about what we've got coming up next. Now, I am just going to remind you around our webinars for this week. So we are celebrating all week. We have 5 webinars in total, plus 2 quizzes. Now, the quiz is the same on both dates, okay? You only need to attend the quiz once. But we do, if you wish to earn the Smart Accounting Badge, expect you to attend 4 of the 5 webinars. So if you haven't registered for an additional 3 or all of them, please do get yourself registered for those sessions. And the idea is we're just going to give you some quick hints and tips within a half-hour session of what we can do to try and make your life a little bit easier in the software. So this afternoon at 2 p.m, we've got automating everyday transactions. Tomorrow, we're looking at reporting made easy and quick tips to protect your data, and then also shortcuts for success as well. And the quiz we've got on Thursday and on Tuesday, it's not marked, it's a little bit of fun just to try and bring a little bit of fun to International Accounting Day. Okay, so we've just got a few final questions coming through there to see what we can do. A really good question there, how hard is it to customize our invoice with logos? We do have a session on that, so I'm just going to show you now where you can find our recordings so you can have a look at our previous sessions. So I'm just going to bring this page across here now. So if you pop onto our help centre, sage.co.uk/help, that will take you to our help centre. Now, if you click on Sage 50 accounts, this takes you to the help centre for Sage 50, and you can basically find out anything within the software. So you could type into here, add a logo to my layout and find the online guide. However, what we do have is a webinar on that. So if I just type in the word webinars, we have 2 options. We have the webinars for Sage 50 accounts, and just a bit further, we've got webinar recordings. The beauty of the recording is that you can follow Michael along as he adds the logo on, pause it when you need to, so you can actually follow it step by step. So there is one on here for report design, and that is adding logos on. So it's not too difficult to add the logo on, but sometimes it's just having the confidence that you go into the right place. So there is one in here. I'm just going to see if I quickly find it. Just quickly find that one for you. Apologies, there's quite a few recordings on here. And we've got this one here, and also add a logo there under report designer. So have a look at those recordings, and these can be watched at any time that suits you. And as you can see, there's quite an extensive list of recordings there. On our live webinars, after International Accounting Day, we will be back starting with company archives next week, and we will be continuing things like bank feeds, and again we've got invoice payments if you want the more detailed session next week. But our theme for the end of November is going to be corrections. Okay, so we're going to be looking at different forms of corrections in the software. So if it's somewhere you're not feeling confident within in the software, then have a look at those sessions and get yourself registered, and we'll talk you through the process and the implications of doing any corrections there. Okay, so I think we've just got one final question coming through there. Quick question there, can I re-watch this webinar? Absolutely, we will have the recordings available for you later on this week. So check out that recordings page again, and you can get yourself a view of that recording at any time once you've done that. Now there's a quick one there. Previously, when I added details to statements, it no longer allowed me to update the customer record to show what I had sent a statement. What would I have to do to ensure this stayed active? I think there was a known issue on this one a few years back. I'll probably reach out to you on that one just so I can see what the workaround was for that. I do think back a few years ago when I was on technical support, there might have been a known issue on that one. We'll have a look at that one. So just check for a follow-up email later today. Okay, so I think we're pretty much there on top of the questions there. Like I say, we're going to be back at 2 o'clock today. So if you want to get registered for that session, you've got plenty of time to do so, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. A quick one there that has just come through at the last moment there is, can we take Opeo payments via the Pay Now option? So yes, we do have the option to set up Opeo. It's a slightly different process for setting that up, but it does also add a Pay Now option for you. Okay, so I think we'll look to end the session next. We're just gone over by a minute. It's so hard to try to squeeze so much information into half an hour. But like I say, we try to keep them within the half hour for you. So we only use one slot of your day. So take care, everyone. And if we don't see you again, I hope you enjoy International Accounting Day. But I really do sincerely hope that we see you on another of our sessions this week so you can earn your badge. But take care for now, and we'll see you on another session really soon.